Okay, hi guys. So this is going to be the second video I'm doing in the new Agimat series. Once again, I always tell you if you like what you see, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe. So let me go into entry methods just in case you don't know. The one of the first entry methods was the popular one by Uncle Lee. I'll leave the link in the description to his YouTube page where he actually, gives one of, the best and safest entry methods using the Agimat system. If you're a newbie, you just got the Agimat system, I think that video is one you want to watch. It will give you a good understanding on how to get into the Agimat using, really one of the conservative and safest methods. I have to say that that was the method I first used when I bought the Agimat system, and it still works. It is very conservative, but it works. And until you grow confident enough, you learn the ropes more. I think it should always be the go-to video to watch before watching this, I have to say. But this is my own personal contribution to the Agimat community. So I said, okay, let me share some of my own tips based on other strategies that I have learned over time and I've been able to perfect to a certain extent. And I found out that with those strategies and the Agimat system, it's relatively easier for me to spot good entries and see more high probability win rates, which I know a lot of people have issues with. But anyway, let me go into the entry. So I'm talking about the trendline entry, which is going to be the only thing I'm going to be discussing about in this video. In the next video, I'll talk about another entry as well. But today, I'm looking at the trendline entry using the Agimat system. Now, there's a component of the Agimat that I always want you to add if you are using the trendline entry the way I'm using it. And that component is by the time you right click, go to your indicators list, you see Agimat FX 2080 Pro Con A. You double click. Now you see there are two levels here. It's a level 2 and a level 3. I want you to change the color of the level 2 to maybe yellow, then the color of the level 3 to black. No, actually make this green, light green, and yes, I'll make this black. I'll make this 3, the width, make it a little bit bigger. 3, good. That's all you need. Now, I always tell beginners, whenever you're trading in general, you're better off using the higher time frames for your analysis because they give you a bigger picture of what is happening in the market and less noise. That means opportunities for false signals are reduced to the barest minimum. And what I mean by higher time frame signals are signals starting from the 4-hour, daily, and weekly. They do take a lot of time before you could get to profit targets, or when they start moving in your direction, and when they have pullbacks, you could stay there for days, weeks. But the rewards when they move in your direction are very, very high, very rare. I mean, with great risk comes great rewards. So I'm a fan of using the higher time frames for my overall market bias. If I'm thinking of going long or buying in the market, I usually go to the daily or the 4-hour to form a bias, to look at where the market is heading to on those time frames. Once I get my bias on those time frames, I will now switch to a lower time frame looking for entries. I don't trade the lower time frames. I only use them to look for entries. Now I'm going to show you how I do them. So basically, if I'm trading the hour, if I'm trading the daily time frame, I usually use the 1 hour for my entry. And if I'm trading the 4-hour time frame, I use the 15 minutes for my entry. I'll take that again. If I'm trading the daily time frame, I use the 1 hour time frame to look for entries. And if I'm trading the 4 hour time frame, I use the 15 minutes to look for my entry. So right now I have before me a GBUSD chart, and this is the 4 hour time frame, as you can see. And if I'm trying to use the trendline entry to trade this time frame, first and foremost, I have to point out something. On this 4 hour time frame, you can see that we have the yellow box with a black arrow, and we have the white arrow. The white arrow is crucial. MEQ in this position, what's called the Maxwell here, is pretty flat. And if you watch any of the creator of Agimat, Dennis Buchholz's video, he always tells you once MEQ is flat, forget about this trade. Like just move on. And he is right. If you are a newbie, I repeat, if you are new to trading, if you do not see MEQ that crosses the market baseline, has a good slant, you want to ignore signals like this. You want to ignore situations where the Maxwell, the future prediction tool, is flat. You just want to leave them outright. I repeat, if you are new, you are starting out, you want to leave them out flat. But if you are more experienced, you understand, fundamentals of trading. You understand price action. You've got a bit of experience and you're just using Agimat as a tool to help you, then you can still keep on watching this video. But if you're new and you see a signal like this with the MEQ really flat, not crossing the market baseline, you leave this trade. This is a no trade for you. Understood? Anyway, let's go into it. So I'm looking at 4 hour right now. And I've seen the yellow box with the black arrow. I've seen the white arrow. And I'm like, okay, the white arrow is giving me that breakout momentum. It's showing me that candle telling me this trade is gonna go, bullish. And I'm saying that this trade at the same time is at this level. Remember what I talked about, this bank level, the support and resistance or round number lines. Now, presently, this candle, this bullish candle here, hasn't really crossed above this decline. So it's a kind of a trade where unless you know what you're doing, you really want to leave this trade. You want to see how this plays out. You want to see this candle really go above this line, because it's presumed that at this point there's a lot of decision to be taken by institutions that either want to buy or sell in this market. Agimat as a tool itself has been given this bullish momentum to let you know that it thinks that this market is ready to go long. But then again, Agimat is just a tool. The market is the market. Price is king. So if Agimat fires an arrow, doesn't necessarily mean that the market is going to go the way the Agimat arrow is. If that were the case, all of us using Agimat would be very rich right now. But that's not the case. So anyway, let me go into the basics of teaching the entry. So if you were like, okay, I still want to trade this regardless, then this is what I would suggest. Again, it's an entry method. You don't have to use this, but it's one of the ones I use and I'm just sharing it. If it's going to help you, fine. But if it's too complicated and you feel, nah, just stick with the Uncle Lee method, that is fine as well. So what I do is I switch to the 15-minute charts. Like I say, my combo is the 4 hour, 15 minutes for entry and the daily 1 hour for entry. So I switch to the 15-minute charts to kind of see what's happening, in the lower time frame, like what's happening right now kind of time frame. So this is live. This is what the market is doing right now. So I'm saying that, whoa, there is a yellow box with a black arrow pointing down. But guess what? There's no white arrow yet, just yet. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, so I'm coming from the 4 hour chart. And the 4 hour chart, I've seen the yellow box with the black arrow. I've seen the white arrow to tell me that there's bullish momentum on the 4 hour chart. And I'm thinking, yeah, I want to trade this. By the way, if you got in earlier on the 4 hour chart, you probably would have gotten this move if you got in earlier. but this is life, and this was some day, I think about a day ago or so. I'm not sure, but if you got in earlier, you'll have caught this move, and that would have been awesome. That's a lot of pips right there. But let's say you are about thinking about getting into this move right now. So the two things I'll be looking at is, how do I connect 2 points on this chart to ensure that I have a trend whereby when price breaks the trend, I'll be able to get a good entry. What do I mean by that? See these X signs, part of the elements of the Agimat, the Kone, they are actually strong points of reversals as well. See, anytime they pop up, market goes down. They pop up, market goes down. Pop up here, market goes up. So they are very, very strong indeed. But it's not just that easy to say, okay, I'm going to wait for this, I'm going to take this. No, that's not what we're using this for. My bias here is I want to take GBP USD long. I'm looking for opportunities to buy. Presently, on the 15-minute chart, which is the now chart, I can see two things. I can see one, there's a yellow box with a black arrow telling me that I think it's selling right now, though I don't have a white arrow yet to confirm. Okay, fair enough. Secondly, I can see the future prediction tool is kind of like breaking down the market baseline. So it's telling me again that I think right now GBP USD, in the meantime, it's gonna sell. What do I do? You know what you do? What you do is you wait. If you decide to buy, patience. You need to wait. You don't trade this right now. You're not trying to buy right now, because every indication here is saying sell. Every indication right now is saying sell. If you want to sell, fine, you could sell. If you see the white arrow, wait for price action to stay under the angular momentum line, you can sell. That would be a great sell, not bad. But if you're thinking of long term, if you're thinking like, look, I saw a buy on the 4 hour, I saw the white arrow pop up on the 4 hour, all I want to do is just look for an opportunity to buy. Well, guess what? The opportunity to buy is not now. It will come up, but you need to be patient. And that's where a lot of new people get it wrong. They don't have the patience. They want to trade the 15 minutes, all right, but they're not doing the right things. They're not patient enough to wait for the right opportunity. There are a lot of peers on the market watch this. If you can't find an opportunity to go long on GU, just leave it. Go look for something else that it's presenting a good opportunity right in front of you. And if you think, okay, I'm not buying GU, I want to trade GU short, why not? Wait for the rules to completely form in and take a short. I mean, there's another typical level here, and if price breaks through this level, you can be rest assured that this will drop. There will be bearish momentum on this 15-minute chart. That will happen. But then again, like I say, don't get it confused. The combo is make your bias on the 4 hour, ensure that you have a lock on the 4 hour. The lock comes with the white arrow. Then you go into the 15-minute time frame and you start looking for opportunities. That is the combo. If you are using the daily, your entry opportunity will be on the 1 hour. That is how I use it. But anyway, let me go into the trend line. So right now, I really can't even find the proper way to apply the trend line technique here, because I'm thinking of buying, but everything is coming down sell. So what do I do? Very simple. I just close this chart and I look for something else. It's not the right time as far as I'm concerned. So let me go to EU chart window, Agimat, 4 hour. There we go. Same thing on EU, 4 hour. It's a yellow box, there's a white arrow, it's telling me buy, buy, buy. Let me go to the 15 minutes. See what's happening in 15 minutes. It's coming down. Now let me add those two components I mentioned about Con A, edit, make this 3, make this 3, black, green, okay, close, fine, great. So here, I'm also thinking I want to buy. Buy is my bias. Where did I form my bias? I formed it on the 4-hour chart. So I'm looking for an entry. But right now, everything is going down right now. MEQ is down. This is below the, angular momentum line, the white arrow, the black arrow, everything is going down right now. So I'm thinking, okay, I need to be patient. I need to wait for the opportunity to present itself for me to buy. But do I need to wait for, another yellow box? The black arrow, sure, if I want to be conservative, I could do that. But if I want to use the trend line technique, then I could do two things. First and foremost, you need to know how to draw a trend line. A trend line is, I don't need to start teaching how to draw a trend line. There's a lot of YouTube videos, but this is one of the simplest way. You take 2 points, point A and point B, and you connect them. And you make sure that between point A and point B, there is no price action intersecting them. So you can't see any price action like candles in between these 2 points. 2 points have to be connected. Some people say 3. Yeah, 3 if you want a more solid trend line, but 2 is enough. That's how I learned it. 2 is enough for what you need to do. 3 is, very good. It means that, the price action obeys that trend line. So on the 15-minute chart right now, because we're looking for entry, I can see these 2 points, right? Again, don't mind the fact that I'm not using this con signals yet, because you can't force trend lines. If it presents itself, fine. If it doesn't present itself like you want to connect, then don't use it. Right now, the only 2 points I can connect are the 2 yellow boxes here, 1 and 2. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do my trend line. I'm going to connect this to this. So that's a trend line on the 15-minute chart. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to ensure that if I'm using the trend line technique, I am waiting for price to touch this trend line on the 15-minute chart. And if price fails to break below this trend line and bounces, that means if I get a red candle touch this trend line and the next candle that comes here is blue, right? Then I'm thinking of, okay, I will buy and I'll set my stop loss right under the last candle below the trend line, and I'll wait for what the market is going to do. So basically what I'm saying is that I'm going to have to connect 2 trend lines, 2 lower highs. There's a lower high here, sorry, 2 higher lows. If they're coming down from here, you probably see them using the correction impulse technique, which I'm not talking about again. I'm just showing you that there's a point here. This is a low, this is a high, and this is a higher low. So I'm connecting 2 higher lows or 2 lows, depending on how you see them. 2 lows I've connected. Why I had to use the yellow box with the black arrow is because I couldn't find, this X signals to connect for those lows. And these are pretty strong. These are actually strongest reversal points, really. So if I get to use 2 boxes, fine. But if I don't get to use 2 boxes, then I'm looking to use 2 X signals. That's it. If I was going to look for a selling position here, if I was looking for a selling position here, then I'll be thinking of connecting 2 highs. If I was thinking of selling, I'll be looking to connect 2 highs. 1 high here and a lower high here. Is a high, low is another high. That will be what I'll be looking to do. But right now I'm looking to buy, so I'm going to take this off. So I'm going to leave this like this on the 15-minute chart, right? I'm going to switch back to my 4-hour chart. Now on your 4-hour chart, This is what it's going to look like. So this tells you is that if price, for any reason, breaks below this line that you drew on the 15-minute chart, then there's a likely probability that this market is going to keep on going bearish. It's a probability. Nobody knows what happens in the market. We all trade based on probability, but we want high probability trades. That's why we do our analysis and we make sure that we perfect our strategies. That's my bias. But if I go back to my 15 minutes, let's say I'm staying on my 15-minute chart, it's easier for me to just hang in there, go do something else. Once price gets here, I could check it out and see, is it going to break further or is it going to bounce off? Immediately it bounces. Immediately, the price touches this and it fails to close under this, I will take a buy here. That's what I'll do. That's why I call it the trend line entry. Remember, all the components we are using here are all Agimat based. We're not using anything outside Agimat. The only thing we added here was the trend line, to use the trend line technique, because even without, if you take a plain chart without Agimat, you could still use the trend line, break and bounce technique to trade. I use it a lot, but I found out that with Agimat, because Agimat, has so many elements in it, it's so easy to just, put in those little strategies here and there to, to make Agimat even more powerful, because Agimat gives you, all those points you need and, the future prediction and everything. So why not just, incorporate a really strong strategy into a really strong system to get high probability trades? So this is one of my techniques that I use. Again, like I always say, one of the first techniques you want to learn, and I'm going to link in the description, is the Uncle Lee method. That is the original entry method. But I'm just showing you some of my own entry methods outside the Uncle Lee method that I've been using for a while now to, decent results as well. Not perfect results, but decent results as well. So I'm just out here trying to share them with you. And as usual, if you have any questions or comments, you can leave them, in the chat box below. And that's it really for this video. You could try this on as many charts as possible and see what it looks like and see the outcomes. Again, it's not perfect. Sometimes price may get here, price may not get here, but the whole point of the strategy is to be able to give you a high probability win rate, hoping that if you apply the strategy and price obeys, the strategy the way you applied it, then you're in for a good ride. I mean, at the end of the day, nobody's going to sit down here and say, oh, I'm winning 100% trades. No trader wins 100% trades. But you want to take like 10 trades and win at least 7 out of 10 with good money management. Even if you did 4 out of 6 with good money management at the risk reward ratio of 2 to 1 or 1 to 2 or 1 to 3, you will still be in profits. And there's so many other elements of trading that, apart from learning Agimat, that you need to understand to actually be profitable. You could lose a lot of trades and you could only win 2 and still be profitable. It is possible, but that's not the subject of this video. The subject of this video is just to cover how I use the trendline strategy to be able to trade Agimat. So let me just look for one more trade right now. One more trade, not a USD based trade, maybe I don't know, just something that's different. Doesn't have all the maybe USD card. Just quickly before I round up this video. I don't want this video to be too long. Sorry. Okay, USD card, chat window, Agimat FX Pro. Good. 4-hour chart. What do we have here? Okay, so we have a buy bias because we have the yellow box with a black arrow. We have a white arrow locked in, telling us that, look, this is going to be a start of a long bullish momentum. So I'm thinking, okay, again, look at MEQ. It's really flat. A beginner, this is 0. Just forget about it. But if you know what you're doing, like I always say, and you're still persistent on trading this because you've done maybe a top-down analysis from monthly to weekly, and you think it's going up, And you switch now all the way to the 15-minute chart. Like I said, go there, indicators list, change this con A, just 2 elements of the con A, change this to black, change this to green, make this a bit bigger, 3, 3, close. There you have it. Aha. Now remember, we're going long. Now this is a very good example. Can you see this? X and X. Draw a trend line. Boom. This is perfect. This is so our bias is we're going long, right? Remember the rules. Price needs to get to this trend line and bounce. Breaks below it, you want to leave this trade. When price comes below this and breaks under it, you want to leave this trade. But when price comes here and bounces, the first bounce you see and price closes, you take a position and you put your stop loss, really tight stop loss, under the last candle below the trend line. This is a live situation, so I'm trying to teach in a live situation so you can understand. I could go to previous charts and show you, but it will look kind of like deceptive because like it already happened on chart, so it's working out. But I'm telling you right now, if you're watching this video right now, some minutes just before I uploaded this, and you go to this trade and you just try this, you will see how it will pan out. I'm telling you, price comes there and it bounces. Immediately see a bounce, like a bullish candle forms, and it ends and it closes, take a position. That's how you could use the trend line. Take a position, put your stop loss under here. And if it works out, boom, your risk ratio was very small, and your reward could be like 5-6 times, all because your bias, remember your bias came from the 4-hour chart. So your entry is only here. And yeah, it's great to see these two con A signals really aligning, showing us that there was this, this move down here, this impulse, this correction. It's an impulse. So we are expecting the correction down here. Again, you could use Fibonacci, but I'm not going into that. Maybe in another video, I'll show you Fibonacci levels. But with the trend line, it is very simple. You expect price to get here and bounce. Once it bounces, you take an entry, put your stop loss under the trend line, and set your targets. And that's the trend line entry using Agimat in a nutshell. Apply this. If you are using the daily, you go to the 1 hour, you do the same. It's really that simple. But like I always say, watch out for those elements I talked about, those lines here, the thick lines, and MEQ being really flat. You understand? Unless like I always say, I repeat again, if you are a newbie, you have no experience whatsoever. Once you see MEQ is flat, leave that trade. A newbie, you want to be trading MEQ like this. You want to be trading MEQ like this. MEQs that cross the market baseline. But if you are good enough and you understand what you're doing and you are sure about your bias, then you can apply this trend line strategy to get a decent entry and still trade this pair regardless. So that's it for me from this video. Like I always say, if you like this video, if you've gained anything, hit the like button, subscribe, and feel free to ask questions. I'll be up in the chat rooms. If anybody has questions they want to ask about this entry method or whatnot. So happy flipping, guys, and have a great day. Bye.